When you break down a watermelon with precision, you produce a naturally functional drink that is fundamentally different from a simple blended fruit. Mastering this protocol ensures you can extract and preserve this yield consistently. In the next 6 minutes, we will cover everything from the raw material selection to the chemical stabilization of the final product. This cellular model shows why this liquid is so effective. The natural fructose in the watermelon acts as a carrier, utilizing the body's glucose-sodium cotransport system to pull water molecules across the intestinal lining more rapidly than plain water can move on its own. To execute this protocol, you only need 5 basic kitchen tools, provided you follow the specific geometric cutting steps required to protect the flavor. By the end of this process, you will have a method for producing high-quality hydration without the additives found in typical commercial alternatives. The process begins with raw material acquisition. Because we aren't adding sugar or flavorings later, your final yield is entirely dependent on the quality of the fruit you start with. Look for 3 specific indicators. A premium melon will be heavy for its size, indicating high water content. It will have a dull rind rather than a shiny one, and it will feature a creamy yellow field spot, which proves the fruit stayed on the vine long enough to develop its full sugar profile. These natural markers are the first things lost when moving to mass-produced store-bought juices. Commercial options rely on long lists of stabilizers, dyes, and corn syrup to maintain shelf life. Furthermore, high-heat pasteurization cooks the juice, destroying the volatile aromatic compounds that give fresh watermelon its crisp flavor. Extracting the juice at home at room temperature bypasses this thermal degradation entirely. This is the only way to ensure the delicate biotechnical profile of the fruit remains intact from the vine to the glass. Now we move to physical preparation. To ensure a high yield and clean flavor, we treat the cutting of the fruit as a geometric problem. Always start by severing both ends of the melon. This creates a flat, stable foundation that prevents the fruit from rolling, which is the primary cause of knife slips during prep. This blueprint shows the optimal blade path. Following these curved vectors strips the rind while preserving the nutrient-dense flesh. Then slice the fruit into a uniform grid, removing all white pith, which contains bitter alkaloids that alter the juice's taste. This systematic approach ensures that the raw material you put into the blender is pure, consistent, and free of bitter contaminants. During extraction, remember that the fruit is roughly 92% water. There is no need to add any external liquid to the vessel. As the blender reaches high speed, it ruptures the cellular walls of the cubes, releasing the internal liquid and creating a smooth, unrefined suspension. Pass this suspension through a fine mesh barrier. This step separates the pure, hydrating liquid from the insoluble fiber and solids. Because this juice is raw and untreated, it is highly susceptible to oxidation. The moment the extraction is finished, the flavor begins to degrade. Store the liquid in an airtight glass container in the coldest part of your refrigerator. Reducing the temperature is the most effective way to slow the enzymatic reactions that cause spoilage. To further stabilize the yield, add fresh lime juice. The natural citric acid acts as an antioxidant, interrupting the oxidation process and keeping the flavor and color vibrant for up to 96 hours. This rapid decay is the hallmark of a raw, living food. By using temperature control and citric acid, you are simply pausing that decay process exactly at the point of maximum freshness. The final result of this protocol is a brilliantly colored, highly functional beverage produced through a controlled, logical process. From specific markers used in selection to geometric precision of the prep and the acid-base stabilization, every step has served to protect the integrity of the fruit. Mastering this protocol allows you to bypass the additives and thermal processing of the commercial supply chain whenever you choose. Now compare this raw yield against any store-bought alternative. Once you experience the difference in flavor and hydration, let us know in the comments.